What's going on, guys? It's Adam from Beyond the Grid, and in this tutorial we're going to be looking at two different things. One, we're going to be looking at a little piece of the composition about leading lines and how the leading lines actually affect the way we look at photos. The second thing we're going to be doing in this tutorial is taking a photo like this one and adding a Moody effect and creating something like this. So let's start this video off by talking about composition. What the heck is composition? We always hear that word. Well, composition to me is any way that you're going to set up a photo to actually make something appeasing to the eye. Make whoever's looking at your photo want to continue to look at it, maybe hit that like button, but it's going to make them want to see the photo. So in this video, we're going to look at leading lines. And what the heck is leading lines do to make proper composition? Well, if you look at a photo like this one of a road and the photographer set up, took a picture of down the road, and I mean, it's a good photo, but if you look at this photo, you can see that the lines actually create depth. They create dimension. They make you want to look at the photo. And if you look at this kind of photo, again, you can see the leading lines. It makes you draw your eyes towards that subject at the end. So in this photo we're going to be editing today, you can see the ground's actually going to create a natural leading line. The trees that are coming down are again going to draw your eyes towards the actual subject. I know, guys, I'm wearing an orange jacket. It's bright. You're automatically going to want to look at it. But it's not just that. If you look at this photo, I'm wearing a darker jacket. Again, it's creating the lines and making you want to actually look at the subject itself. Alright, guys, let's hop into Lightroom and let's get started on this tutorial.
But if you close your eyes.
Alright, guys, let's get through this really quickly. Let's cool this down. We're going to drop our temperature. We're going to leave the tint. We're going to pop our contrast to 100%, drop our highlights to 100, raise our shadows. We're going to drop our whites. Then we're going to drop our blacks as well. Alright, we're going to raise our clarity a little bit. We're going to bump our vibrancy quite a bit. And then we're going to drop the saturation just to give it a desaturated look. Alright, for this one, guys, the tone curve is going to be a little more complex. We're going to be using 6 points. 3 at the top, 1 above the middle, and 3 at the bottom. We're going to raise our shadows, drop our highlights, raise our third point at the top just a little bit, raise our middle one just a little bit, and then we're going to move over to our hues. So in this actual photo, my jacket's actually a little bit more orange. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise our reds, drop our oranges, and make the hue and actual more orange. Our yellows, we're going to raise those a little bit, same with our greens, and same with our aquas. And we're going to raise the blues as well. Magentas, we're going to drop those. We don't really want those in this photo. Same with our purples, so let's get rid of those guys. Now for the saturations, we're going to drop our reds just to make the orange in the jacket actually orange. Orange, we're going to drop it just a little bit just to give us that orange we want. Yellows, we're going to get rid of them. Green, same thing. We want to make the forest moody and dark. Same with our aquas, we're going to get rid of those. Our blues the same. And our purples and magentas, we're going to drop those just a little bit. Now for luminancy, we're not going to be doing way too much, but we are going to touch the red. We want to make it a deeper red. Orange, we want to raise it a little bit, give my jacket that orange color. Green, give a little bit of back into the forest. Blues, let's get rid of them, and aquas, let's get rid of them. Purples and magentas, same thing, let's get rid of them. Let's make them all -10. Alright, so let's get to the split tone curve. Let's make the highlights around 129, and let's go a saturation 11. Let's make this one for the shadows 125 and 6. That looks good. Let's sharpen it up a little bit. And if you guys watched one of my last videos, hold Option and you can see what you're actually sharpening. Alright, so as you guys can see, this was taken with an iPhone 7 Plus. So let's add a little bit of noise reduction and let's bump up the color reduction just so we don't lose any of the actual saturation of the color. Let's add a nice vignette into this. We're going to add the roundness just so it's not so round, and then feather it out. We're going to leave the green, and then we're going to come down to the tint and we're going to go a little bit green, drop our reds down. Saturation, we're going to get rid of those. Hues, for the green, we're going to go up. And blues, we're going to drop those just a little bit. And then we're going to bump the saturation. Alright, let's go up to the top and add a radio filter to me and my dog Brittany. And that way we can both show up really nice in this photo. Let's stretch it out. So make sure you guys hit the invert so it affects what's inside the actual filter, not the outside. Let's boost the exposure. Let's boost this saturation. And let's bring up the temperature a little bit. And let's put a radio filter around my face just to make me pop out a little bit more. And let's boost the exposure on that. And make sure you guys hit the invert. And let's also boost the temperature. Now let's pull a linear filter down from the top and let's drop the exposure from that. If you guys notice that log actually really stands out in the front, kind of obstructs it. So let's actually mask that off and let's drop the exposure on that real quick. There, now it doesn't stand out as much. If you guys notice the actual bushes around the edges, let's paint those up too. And let's drop those a little bit, just because again, like those really kind of show up and kind of make your eye go towards those and not me and the dog. And then last but not least, let's paint the path up a little bit and let's add a little bit of color to that, and let's really make that our leading lines to this photo and really draw us to me and the dog. Now let's quickly erase whatever me and the dog got when we were masking that, just because I mean, we don't want to be affected by the color and the exposure change of the path that we're going to be doing. So once that's painted, let's go over to exposure. Let's bump that up a little bit. Let's bump up our temperature. And let's get the back of the road here too, just so kind of consistent. And let's bump up the temperature a little bit more. And there you guys go. An easy way to use composition, leading lines, and a little Lightroom magic to create something that's going to have depth. It's going to move people. It's going to have them hitting that like button. If this is a style you guys are after and you want to pick up a free preset, hit that link above. It'll take you over to one of my other videos where there's a link that'll actually give you a free preset that's just like this kind of style. If you guys want to pick up my Moody collection, there's going to be a link in the description below. Pop over and snag that guy too. Alright guys, as usual, if you found this video helpful in any way possible, smash that like button. If you guys aren't a subscriber, I mean, why aren't you? Hit that subscribe button. And as usual, take care everybody.